it's kind of like a guess of the future. I don't know a good word for it.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Your mind's vision, because there is that change in the landscape too, and that's anytime something fixed in the real world, we would assume buildings don't recompose themselves from disorderly to orderly. Any kind of change of that nature in otherwise fixed objects usually has some kind of significance, like literally the landscape itself and the objects that compose the landscape have altered. So you had this almost very, there's something to do with laying in bed and having this, I feel sick. And you did in real life, mental sickness is physical in a very real way, or at least it feels
right.
not much dissimilar from being ill in any other kind of way. And there's this, you're lying in bed. It's a place of comfort and rest. And you've got this big view on the world out there. And what you're seeing is this kind of peaceful, calm, forest-like nature of even a concrete and steel and glass cityscape. But that later, after you've gone through this journey of trying to solve the problem in your mind in the arc of the dream, now everything has composed itself into this very kind of rigid order of things that are no longer kind of haphazard like trees would grow in a forest, but very orderly arrangement and procession of buildings. So there's something about something about that suggests to me finding order in your own mind, setting your mind, settling your mind on an orderly understanding of what you're going through. Yeah. And was this because a lot of people, different for everyone, but it's not uncommon that people have a lot of, say, symptoms of depression before they realize, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, these aren't just idle thoughts of life is hard, but I'm actually having major depression, suicidal thoughts, that kind of thing. And that there might be something to do with that, the acceptance that is happening to you, that then this dream pops up to say, okay, now that I see what's going on, what do I think about it? How do I feel about it? So does it seem like this dream is speaking to that?
Yeah, maybe.
Seeing yourself,
definitely.
Seeing yourself on this road forward of like, okay, now what? What's going to happen to me now that I know this thing is happening? What's going to be the result? How am I going to come out of this? Or am I going to come out of it?
Right. And the thing about the robot and its proclamation, I mean, we're skipping around, in some sense.
Sure.
But,
that's fine.
I don't know if we should start at the start, and stuff like that.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes whatever stands out to a person, that's where I go first.
The proclamation made, I guess it's the best way to say it.
Sure.
It was a masculine vibe to it, It's sort of like it was speaking towards that kind of like, I don't know how to put it. I guess that idea of depression and suicide, it was like speaking to it. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you described it as this thing gloating in a way in victory over you personally, directed at you, and you're like, why are you being so mean? What are you celebrating in the first place? Why are you directing it at me? What the hell is going on here? So there could be a representation there of depression itself, this object being born out of the landscape, from bursting forth from the earth itself, from the physical environment, and again, I keep drawing my mind back to this idea of accepting your situation, identifying, okay, this is what's happening to me. So if there's something that in the robot, that it's announcing that it's got a hold of you in a way, that it has power over you. And that could be also what your mind was saying in that time of like, I didn't choose this. I didn't ask for it. I didn't really cause it to happen. It is happening, and it's got me. And not only that, it seems to have this kind of malicious glee with putting me in a position where it's going to win, and I can't stop it.
Right.
Which is which is very much what depression and feels like, is that this thing is happening to you that is, you didn't cause it, you can't cure it necessarily, or rather, you don't have control over it in that way. It is something that is happening to you versus something you're doing to yourself.
To some extent, though, I would say the character of my depression was habits I was taking. There was a satisfaction I had fantasizing about that. It's twisted as it sounds, as terrible as it sounds. It was like sort of comfort.
Yeah, for sure.
And why I kept, it's kind of like eating pie. Like you can't do that all the time because you're gonna get a bunch of health problems. You can't eat it all day, definitely. And it was kind of that, like there was a little bit of that in the robot, like that kind of like. I don't know if I'm painting the impression onto it, or that's actually what I'm getting from it or not. But like there was a little bit of like that. It wasn't comfort, is what I mean, but like maybe it knew that I was doing that intentionally.
Yeah.
And because I was doing that intentionally, now he's got power over me. That kind of guilt.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, there is, as much as, specifically, what am I trying to say? There's situational depression, clinical depression, which is, anyway, situational depression, you can change your habits, your lifestyle. I like to describe it as Jews in Auschwitz, situational depression. Of course, they're miserable. They're being held in a concentration camp. They're being starved and beaten. Anybody would be majorly depressed under that. But then there's like, my life is good. I got money. I got women. I got everything I could hope for. I'm eating 3 square meals a day and they're delicious. And I hate it. I hate all of it. It's miserable. I'm not happy. That's more of the chemical, classic clinical depression side of things.
Definitely.
But okay, so now we're on that. We're in that sphere in general. There are things you can do to make it worse and make it better. And maybe the robot, in that sense is gloating a bit that you're feeding it, or that you're not caused it to be born, but caused it to say feeding it gave it the power or gave it the ability to erupt forth and actually take off and multiply and be more substantial in a human form. Yeah, so I think there's definitely something there. Yeah, if it resonates with you.